Hey everyone, Space Jelly Reviews. Today I'm reviewing the TOYBIZ Marvel Legends Apocalypse series Wolverine. This is an old figure, like I keep saying. Can't use the same rules that apply to us now. We have to look at these figures in the same lens that people looked at them at the time they came out. Products of their time. Scaling first. Right, I already showed it. His accessory is his comic book, very nice comic book cover. And this is the back, so I want to show you the variant. He came with an unmasked variant, as you can see right there. I don't really like the unmasked variant. This mask looks very nice. First we gotta talk about the scale, which is a problem, but I don't really think so. It's like a problem, but not really. 5 1/4 inches, which is pretty dead on for Wolverine. So we're going to compare him to a few figures, some new Marvel Legends. He was in a bit of a crouching pose, but even if he's standing straight, that's still pretty close. He stands pretty nicely with Spider-Man. Mortal Kombat 11 McFarlane Spawn. Pretty good. Spawn is supposed to be big and tall, so he's supposed to be short. The Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man by Hasbro. Pretty good. Custom Kit Bash Superman by McFarlane. Pretty good. The Marvel Legends Hercules. Pretty good. I gotta show Azrael. The Azrael Batman, he towers over him. I don't think this is really to scale. And Nightwalker, I think. His head is a bit big, so I don't know if this really fits in with most of the modern day Marvel Legends stuff. But he is actually really good. We're going to talk about the aesthetics, or I think he's pretty good. Move his head down so you can actually see. He has a really good head sculpt. It's really good. Paint job is really good. You can see he has shoulder pads. The color painting is pretty good. The yellow is not really drowning out in the blue too much. There's some gradient over here, like an orangish gradient going into the yellow. It's continued on the back, and that gradient is also continued on the back. It's very nice. He has shading in his legs. He has shading in his boots. He doesn't really have much on his gauntlets, but I think that the gauntlets are painted blue. The claws are okay. They're painted silver, but they always warp like this. The hair is painted decently. Kind of looks a bit like lines, but at a distance it looks good enough. It's not really that noticeable in real life. It looks a bit more faint, not really this detailed. But that head sculpt is really nice. And the proportioning in the upper body, at least, is really good. And you can see that. That looks pretty spot on. That's pretty good. But unfortunately, the thing that kills this figure is the hip and midsection over here. It's not really the best. But they did continue these aren't painted. These are sculpted. Sculpted stitch marks in there and on the ball joint. Also, his belt is painted, but I don't really like it too much because they decided to cut it. Should have just been down here or up here. But I look at it with a lens from back when this was released. He came with no accessories, like I said. I didn't say that. He just came with the comic book, like I showed. So we can go right into the articulation. He has a ball joint, I think, and a hinge. Looks up really nicely, looks down really nicely. It has a bit of a gap in the back, though, but it's okay. head rotates. The head joint is a little bit loose. The shoulder is pretty tight on mine, but I guess that's a good thing. Shoulders move up that far, probably further, but I'm not gonna risk it. He has really nice proportioning on his arms. Bicep swivel, this one's a bit loose. Double jointed elbow, I can't bend it more than that. I can't really bend the top joint. Let's see. Yeah, that's about it. He does have painting in between his muscles though. You can like see it's a bit of orange there, a bit of shading. Or if you can't see it, it is there. Wrist rotation, hinge. He does have the finger articulation, which is a little bit redundant, but you know, that's what they did with all their figures. He doesn't really arc back too far. If he crunches forward decently, he's pretty good. Unfortunately, his waist is super loose, very loose waist. His legs, ball hinges, they go out really far. Don't look good though. They kick forward, these are wide jointed, so you gotta rotate them. They kick back, thigh swivel, very nice double jointed knees. They're not ugly at all. It's how all figures should be making their double jointed knees. I don't know why they keep on giving them super flat cutouts. They don't really look good. Boot swivel, ankle goes up pretty far. Down, it's decent, but you can see the gapping there. Ankles are really skinny and the rocker is there. So yeah, he should be able to stand. And he has a toe joint. So yeah, he does have a few loose spots, but I think if you're going to ignore the proportioning in this midsection over here, this is probably the best Wolverine you can get next to the Series 1 Wolverine, which I did want to show. I did want to compare them. I don't know if it's Series 1, but this is the first Wolverine they made. This Wolverine's a little bit bigger. I think he'll fit in with your contemporary modern Marvel Legends now, but I think that they're different enough, and I actually do like the paint job on this figure a bit more. He looks a bit like more high quality. This one looks a little bit cheaper with the yellow, but I think I like the sculpt on this one more. Yeah, overall thoughts. This figure is actually really good. If you can look past the proportioning, he has better paint, better sculpting for the time. But if you can look past this part right here, really good sculpting and really good paint. Pretty decent articulation too. He should be a pretty good buy if you want him. So yeah, thanks for sharing, liking, subscribing, all this stuff. We appreciate it, and we appreciate any feedback that's either good or bad. So yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. See ya. Bye.